What's going on, everyone? So, Saw X had a ton of success. Many people also really enjoyed it. It wasn't just like box office success, just movie success. It was like, hey, people really enjoyed the look into John Kramer's life and kind of the relationship and dynamic with him and Amanda and all that, and kind of just gave you a new take and light on John as a character. And some people, this was their favorite sequel in the entire franchise. And it was really good. It was really entertaining. I thought they did a great job of just kind of telling the story. It was a little slower than the other ones, but I thought it was something that was very enjoyable. And when you look back, you're like, okay, cool. Right? Like I enjoyed that. Right? A lot of people and the films in general kind of led it this way of just, hey, it's about the kills, about the saws, right? Some stories are better than others, but it's just the craziness that you see unfold on the screen. It's a fun entertainment type of ride, but it was nice to see a Saw movie really kind of focus on some storytelling and have the contraptions and just everything kind of really make sense and unfold. And it wasn't this just like confusing conglomerate of this. Okay, where does this tie into this? And what is this? Oh, wait, who? There's that. And kind of gets this like convoluted sense, right? I felt like this was pretty straightforward to the point. Like, hey, here you go. And again, showed bringing back John and having films be centered around, Tobin Bell, I just think was a formula of success. And you knew it was probably going to be one of the more successful ones in the franchise. Well, with the success of Saw X, guess what? Get another Saw movie, right? So we were expected to get Saw 11 this year. But now reports came out that it is going to be postponed just a year. So Lionsgate delays Saw 11's release by a full year from September 27th, 2024 to September 26th, 2025. And for those that are curious, what was Saw 11 supposed to be about? So Saw 11 will be a direct sequel to Saw X, continuing the story and potentially featuring key characters like Cecilia, Tobin, and Shawnee. Also, the next movie has the potential to break from the franchise original formula by focusing on Cecilia seeking revenge on Jigsaw. The success of Saw X has shown that keeping the story centered on Jigsaw and his relationship with Amanda can create a meaningful chapter and lay the groundwork for further stories. So again, keep it John Kramer centric, keep the storytelling well. It does give you this kind of alternative sort of off branch to the Saw franchise and gives you potential to continue to make and create several films and installments. I don't know how long you could keep going with this, right? And it's kind of one of those things. They painted themselves into a corner by taking out John, right? Like as soon as he dies, oh, that's it. Now you got to kind of do all these other things or kind of go backtrack, which I had concerns with, right? I had genuine concerns of like, because you kind of painted yourself into this corner, how often can you keep going back, right? But with the time in between and stuff, and you could tell these various like behind the scenes stories and the relationship with John and Amanda and kind of keep the films at least momentarily around John. And you could probably, look, creative writing, creative storytelling, creative execution, you can kind of get away with a lot. Right? You can kind of do a lot and you can really draw stuff out. So, they could even do like a part one, a part two, or something like that to just kind of squeeze out another film, especially if, again, it has good storytelling. And, Tobin Bell's going to be great. You know that, just seeing John and all those, like, you're going to get, like, it's a winning formula, right? We've seen that time and time again have a ton of success. So, does Lionsgate kind of look at that and go, okay, like, let's try to squeeze out as many movies as we can? The other thing is, too, is that you don't want to kind of ruin what you have built, kind of take away from things to where the other films kind of just become like people just kind of shun them and ignore them or kind of become an afterthought, right? Like you want to try to keep things on track and within reason. Now I know like you have plenty of Saw movies in the franchise period that are like in between this Saw and that Saw, or they tell a story that has happened simultaneously, or so they've kind of always kind of had this crazy timeline where it's all one cohesive story, but you have this film kind of line up with this film. Six ties in with this, and Saw 3 lines up with it, and so it's just you have all these constant parallels, right? So really, you could expand it in that sense, in that regard, where you're telling all these parallel stories. You do that, but again, you don't want to get convoluted to a point where it's like it becomes impossible to follow along, where it's like, okay, well, Saw 15 takes place in between 2 and 3, but so do Saw, so does Saw 13, and this one, it's just, you don't want to get to the point where it's like, dude, how many days, how many times, how many hours did this dude have? Like, what is going on here? And look, it's a movie. You're going to have movie logic. You're going to have, just scenarios and things in general that are, that people are willing to look past. And again, good story, good characters, good traps, good everything. People will kind of look past it. All right, people kind of just, all right, yeah, that was a great movie, right? So we can kind of ignore the continuity errors or whatever. But that's the other thing too, is like you don't want to have to keep trying to go down rabbit holes and explain things, or end up forgetting things like, but that doesn't make sense because we did this and that, and like, so you get what I'm saying? Like, you can get to a point where you kind of create some chaos but I understand from a studio standpoint, it's like, hey, we need to draw out as many movies as we can, right? If we can do another 11, let's do another 11, right? Like, Saw 11 can be Saw 1 again. You could get another 10 films and get a couple spin-offs, because they tried to do the spin-off thing, right? Like, that was the whole point with Spiral and stuff. Like, from the Book of Saw, they were trying to do these, like, they want to do these off-branch stories to keep the franchise going. Well, they had success with Saw X, so now you kind of are in this position where you can, I think, at least momentarily, I think bare minimum, you could get a handful of movies out, right? I think you could probably get, say, Saw 11. I think you could at least get one more to get you to Saw 12. I think, again, good storytelling. You even break something up into like a part 1 or 2. You could probably get another 5, maybe. Like, I know as silly as it sounds, you could probably get to at least Saw 15, right? Because, I mean, Saw 11, you could kind of, again, have like Cecilia trying to get revenge, and then have that thing play out, and then maybe have like a Saw movie where John is doing whatever, and he's got this cop or whatever, and he's got to kind of try to like navigate that, and he's onto him, or you just tell the story, and then that leads into like this twist at the end, and John ends up has more to do now, and it's like, okay, well, now you got part 2 to that, but it's really Saw 13. Like, you could probably squeeze out, again, 3 to 5 movies is my guess, by just telling a John story, having Amanda kind of, or maybe even have it be a little more Amanda focused in one, but John's kind of like with it, and there's, again, creative ways you can do it, but again, I don't want it to get too carried away, is my point. But if it's good, I'm not going to complain about getting a good movie, good Saw movie, good Saw sequel. So anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Are you excited for Saw 11? Are you disappointed that it's getting postponed, or you think, no, it's okay, it's all good? What do you think of the idea, story? Did you like Saw X? Do you want them to kind of continue down that path of like telling stories about John? Again, I have a feel what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.